Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I'm going to do the Numerology and Kabbalah of Emmanuel Macron, the 25th, I believe it is, President of the Republic, of the French Republic. And he won in 2017. His foe in that was Marie Le Pen of the National Front, very right wing, I believe, populist, perhaps with roots in fascism, perhaps, and white supremacy. And he won. He got 24% of the vote. She got 21.3% of the vote. There was somebody who got Fillon, who is from the Republicans, got 20% of the vote, and this was the first round. So Macron got 24% of the vote in the first round. Marie Le Pen got 21.3%. Fillon got 20%, and Mélenchon, and excuse my French, I do not speak French at all, which you probably figured out, got 19.58%. And in the second round, Macron got 66.1% of the vote to Le Pen's 33.9%. And so he is a centrist and very business friendly, very business friendly. So that's how he came in. He was a member for a while of the Socialist Party, but he changed, and he may have even created the party that he was in. It's not like in America we have the two-party system and sometimes a third party. It seems as though there's a lot of shifting and changing within France and the different parties. But again, I don't really know that much about French politics, and I wouldn't even attempt to determine that. But he was the youngest man to be elected as president of France. He was only 39 at the time, and he, he sort of went in. I mean, if you're gonna do the centrist or you're gonna do the fascist, certainly the centrist you would think would win, and he did. So he's having some issues now. He's being challenged by the Yellow Vests, which is considered a populist movement. As far as I understand it, and I could be wrong, so this is my understanding of it. There was a gas tax that he put on to help with the whole Paris climate agreement, and of course, the gas tax hits the middle class and the working class the hardest. So they started to revolt, and they are requesting that the rich pay more of their fair share, which sounds kind of familiar. Okay, so that's where it's at. So he's in a lot of really kind of hot water right now. Very difficult time for him, and I remember listening to other astrologers talk about him, and perhaps there's other astrologers and maybe other readers as well. I can't quite remember where I heard it, but the idea was that he would get in, but there would be a lot of difficulty beyond that, and he certainly has experienced that. So let's look at him as a person, from a perspective of numerology and Kabbalah. Okay. So, he is, his full name, his long one, is Emmanuel Jean-Michel Frédéric Macron. He was born December 21st, 1977. And I think we do have a chart on him. I have it right here in front of me, for those of you who are interested. He was born in Amiens, sorry. Don't speak French, as I said. France, Amiens, at 10:40 a.m. in the morning. So that's Emmanuel Macron. And he is actually His sun is at 29 degrees 25 minutes of Sagittarius. He's the very end of Sagittarius. He has his Mercury in Sagittarius, and it is retrograde. It's at 29:51, and he has his Venus in Sagittarius. He also has Neptune in Sagittarius. The Neptune in Sagittarius is more of a subgenerational signature, as it takes Neptune 14 years to go through a sign. He has his moon in Taurus. His north node is in Libra, conjunct his Pluto in Libra. He has, of course, his south node in Aries. He has Mars in Leo, and he has Saturn in Virgo, and Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, so, and he has a Capricorn ascendant. His ascendant is actually 48 degrees of Capricorn. And we know that there's a lot of Capricorn energy right now, with both Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and a south node in Capricorn. So this is going to be a very fateful time for him anyway. The nodes of the moon at this point are moving through his 12th house, and Saturn and Pluto are also in his 12th house. But they have been there, Pluto has been there way before he became president. Okay, so let's look at this. So if we add up his vowels in his name, remember the vowels are considered the inner feminine vibration. And he seems like a pretty balanced guy as far as his ability to put out his more feminine vibration. He actually has a 60/6 vibration as his soul vibration. The 60/6 is associated, first of all, it's located in Tiphereth on the Tree of Life. And Tiphereth is the heart chakra. I actually don't have the Tree of Life here, so I'm sorry about that. For some reason I didn't put it on there, but I'll just describe it. Tiphereth is the place of where we come into contact with our own higher self. It is the place of connection to a higher vibrational self. Now, the 6 vibration, the base number 6, is the number of love and responsibility. And so, and he has a 60/6. And whenever you put a 0 next to a number, it's the God force. It kind of acts like a master number. And so the 60/6 vibration is one of somebody who takes their responsibility to others very seriously. It's also somebody who loves very deeply and knows what it means to be responsible for other people. Okay? There's a community orientation to the 6. So this is actually a great vibration for a leader to have, because they are, at the core of who they are, concerned with the people. And because it's located in the heart chakra in Tiphereth, it's very much a heart-centered vibration. Now, the soul vibration is often the part that the person like sort of keeps to themselves, and they do show it to the people that they're closest to. But he strikes me in a way as that 6 vibration. I can feel that 6 vibration from him. So there is this sense of just an ability to respond to situations that he's in. Now, that being said, the card associated with this is actually the 6 of Swords. And the 6 of Swords, here, I have it right here. It happens to be here. In this deck, I don't have my Rider-Waite with me. But the 6 of Swords is about moving away from bad situations and moving to calmer waters. Let me see if I can find it in my other deck here. Sorry that I don't have this here. Oh, yeah, I'll look right here. Let's see if I can find it in this deck. So at the core, so this is somebody who, your soul vibration is something that you need to stay in good relationship with. It's also something that you already sort of possess. And something that you understand at a very deep level. And in this deck we see the person sort of going away from going over, to calmer waters here. So there is this sense of having to go into calmer waters. So he has that at the core of who he is. Now his outer personality vibration, because he has such a long name, his outer personality vibration is a 92. I only go up to age. I only go up to number 78 because I use the tarot cards to connect the numbers, and so we have to bring that down to 9 plus 2, and it's an 11 vibration. So his outer personality is 11, and 11 is the peacemaker. 11 is the person who tries to keep the balance. And so having a 6 as a soul vibration and an 11 as an outer personality vibration, this is somebody who really strives to stay balanced within himself. Okay, so he's actually not, he's a good guy to actually have in a situation where there's a problem, because he in himself needs to keep balanced. And so if he can keep his inner balance and his inner poise, it's going to help whoever that, he's in charge of, as it was in this case, France. His expression vibration, when we add the 92 and the 60 together, we get a 152, and reduce that to a 17-8 vibration. The 17-8 vibration is the star card. And so in order for him to stay in good relationship between himself, to find balance between that inner sort of loving person, heart-centered person, he needs to sort of balance that through the 17-8 vibration. And the 17-8 vibration is the star card. And so the star card is about being connected, being connected to your guiding star, being inspired. And so he needs to constantly be inspired. He has to remember why he's there. He needs to look up instead of looking down with this, okay? Now what's interesting is when you have an 11, and he has that 11 outer personality vibration, that 11 is actually the justice card. And so this is somebody who takes law and justice very seriously. He did the tax, and the people revolted, and he took the tax back. Now that might seem like somebody who's wishy-washy, but really I think what he was trying to do is he's trying to allay the disruption, sort of find the balance. And so he does appreciate a sense of social and cosmic justice. 11 also is somebody who really needs to have a relationship. It gives them ballast, and he is married to a very beautiful woman, but she's quite a bit older than him, and I believe he gets a lot of strength from her. What he doesn't have in age, he is able to get that sort of wisdom through the feminine in his life, which would be his wife. Okay, so we have somebody who's heart-centered. We have somebody who strives to be balanced, strives to be fair, and then we add that all together. And in order for him to stay balanced within himself, he needs to stay connected to his guiding star. Now, his life lesson is the vibration that he has come in to learn about, and his life lesson is actually a 57/3 vibration. The 57/3 vibration is located in Baina, the Sephiroth Baina. Baina is the Sephiroth associated with Saturn. It's also the Sephiroth associated with the divine feminine. And so he would get a lot of benefit from Baina. He would get a lot of strength, a lot of wisdom through his connection to women. I don't know what kind of relationship he had with his mother. I would think that it was pretty strong. He has his moon, is it his moon in Leo? No, his Mars is in Leo. His moon in Taurus. Usually the moon in a chart indicates your relationship to your mother, and the Taurus moon is a mother who's very make sure that her children's needs are met, very practical oriented. Make sure that there's enough food. I think he both his parents, I think, were educators or professors of some sort. So we're dealing with like a highly educated parents, highly educated parents. And I think he is very, in theory, I feel as though because of that, he maybe has a lot of theories about how things are to work and some great ideas. But sometimes, and because of all his Sagittarius, you can have these great ideas, but how practical are they? And we need to sort of look at things realistically at this time. And he may have a little bit more trouble with that, although he does have a Capricorn ascendant. Um, so the 57/3 vibration is actually the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is the card of heartbreak. It can be the card of betrayal. And so when you have that as a life lesson, you do have situations in your life where you feel like you've been betrayed. And these are become learning experiences. Okay, this is that card in this deck. And I'll see if I can pull the card out in the other deck. What's interesting is this, I believe, was Hillary Clinton's life lesson. Might have even been her shadow, but I'm not sure. Or it's either her shadow or her life lesson. Either way, there's an example of somebody who was betrayed, and it was a very public. It was a very public thing, and she has on certain levels and in certain ways been betrayed over and over again. She doesn't seem to do well with men. Men just seem to screw her over pretty good, and that's not true of every 57/3. But these are people who do understand and come to understand within their lives the sting of betrayal. Okay. One of the other things that this the base number 3, does give this person a lot of talent when it comes to writing, speaking, and just creating and self-expressing. And he does have his Mars in Leo, and so he would actually be pretty good at self-expressing, especially with all that Sag. But it's like actions speak louder than words with this guy. So that is it's really it's his actions almost that matter more. I'm trying to find the Three of Swords in this other deck, and here we go, the Three of Swords right at the bottom. Okay, that's his life lesson. Life lesson in Baina. Baina is about suffering. It's about darkness, actually, but it's about finding the inner light through your journey through the darkness. And so for those of us who have numbers in Baina, we understand this. This is a sword card, so it is mental. So there is some suffering on the mental level for him, and this is part of his lesson. Baina is also located in the third eye, and so part of his lesson is to learn how to utilize his intuition. I think his intellect is very astute. His vibration, that 60/6 vibration of his soul, is actually an Aquarius vibration. So he's very smart. And humanity, there's a humanitarian vibe to that as well. So he cares about people. He cares about people. Where he might have some challenges might be on the emotional part, or even in the lower part, the sort of like on the ground kind of like nitty gritty stuff that can be a problem. Okay, so we have that. And his shadow. His shadow vibration is his name, Emmanuel, which vibrates to a 30, and the day of his birth, the 21, December 21st. And we get a 51/6 vibration. Now, I have a sense that his mother was a good influence in his life. 51/6 is located in Hokmah. And it is a 6 vibration, just like his soul vibration is a 6 vibration. The shadow is where you're stuck, where your light is stuck. And it's in Hokmah, which is the place of the divine masculine. And so it's very possible, and I don't know this for a fact, he could have had a more difficult relationship with father, or he could have had a difficult relationship with men in positions of power. Okay? He definitely would get more, perhaps, from the feminine side of things, more benefit from that. The 51/6 is located also in the third eye. And so he is a little bit blocked in his intuition. And it is a 6, so it's really about like what's his responsibility and what is not his responsibility. There can also be some depression with this number. And as far as his relationship to his father, or relationship to male authority figures, the issue could be mental cruelty. Mental cruelty, could have had some mental cruelty visited upon him. The 51/6 vibration is the King of Swords. Okay, the King of Swords. And that can be a very heavy vibration, but it is a vibration of justice. To a certain extent, the King of Swords knows when to cut, when to act, right? It's about dominion over your actions. And he's a little bit blocked there, or a lot of bit blocked there. And that could be why some of his actions are either not considered strong enough, or they're too changeable. Because when you're talking about the King of Swords, there's this like, this is it, boom, right? All right, and I'm looking for the King of Swords, and unfortunately I did not have the foresight to pull these cards out, so I can't seem to find him. But we know what the King of Swords looks like, right? It's the Robert Mueller card, as we call it in when we're doing the cards. So that's where he has his block. Now the thing is with your shadow vibration is if you can find a way to heal it, it becomes the light that shines for other people. And so he is, being challenged. What's interesting is when he was elected president, his personal year, he had a personal year of 42/6 vibration. And that 40, and here's the King of Swords. Okay, so this is the shadow vibration for him. Making a decision, taking an action. There's always this sense of once you take an action, then something is left. Like you decide, you take an action, that's the direction you go, and what's left is left. And that could be a problem for him because he is pretty concerned with being fair. So it's always a little harder to make these decisions when you're trying to be balanced. Sometimes being balanced can seem like you're either vacillating too much or you're indecisive. Okay, so that's a possibility. Now again, I don't know that much about French politics, so those people who know about French politics can comment on that as we move forward. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at his, because this is very interesting. I'm just going to lower this a little. I think you'll see it. I want to point something out to you that's very interesting. This is his divine triangle, or his blueprint. This square here is called the youth square. It goes from age 0 to age 27. This line is from 0 to 9. This line is from 9 to 18. This line is from 18 to 27. Every one of these lines is a 9-year line. And then at 27, you move into what we call your power square. And that goes from age 27 to 54. And then at age 54, you move into your wisdom square. And that goes from age 54 to age 81. Now, you certainly could live longer than 81. But this is the three major sort of periods of life. Your youth square is where you sort of deal with the karma from your past lives, generally through your relationship to family. Your power square is how well you deal with these family issues to build your power upon in this life. This is sort of practical considerations and such. And then your wisdom square is the wisdom that you gain through this whole process and sort of what you leave, what you teach the world. He has, in Baina, from age 0 to 27, he was in a 43/7 vibration. 43/7 is the 3 of Cups. So it is a cup vibration. So it's an emotional vibration. So there's an emotionality here, but it is a 7. And so the 7 is dealing with understanding who you are on an emotional level. This can be a very challenging number, even though the 3 of Cups is a pretty pleasant card. This can be a challenging number, mainly because it's located in Bina. So his youth is in Bina. So this is that suffering, the ability of suffering, finding the inner light, and it's an emotional thing. So he was finding, so his youth could have been a very emotionally trying time where he's trying to understand who he is. The 43 over 7 being in Bina makes his mother a very important figure in his life because Bina is about the divine feminine. So at 27, he moved into his power square, and here we have the 57 over 3, which is his life lesson number. And so he is living his, so as we see him as a powerful individual, right, or building his power on the physical plane, we see that he is expressing that life lesson. So this is when he learns all his sort of life lessons. And remember, this is betrayal. So there's a chance that he will be betrayed in some way through this process. But ultimately, that betrayal helps to free him from relationships that no longer serve. So I don't know what his relationships are with the people that he's working with, or the government or anything. But that's what this number means. But interestingly enough, it's also in Bina. And so we have this challenge to sort of, this is all very introspective work, okay? Now here from 36 to 45, he's on a 14 over 5 line. That is the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is about healing. It's about balance. It's about not getting caught up in extremes. And it's about the tempering process of becoming stronger through the extremes coming to you. Like when you temper steel, you put it in the fire, it gets molded, it starts to melt, then you pound the crap out of it, then you plunge it in something cool, and then you put it back in the fire. And so it's that tempering process to strengthen the steel. And so he needs to really keep an even keel through this 9-year period. And he was elected while he was moving on this 14-5 line. Okay, so this is part of his journey as well. And then at 45, he moves up on this line, and he's I think 40. How old is he now? He's 41. So we still have 4 more years before he gets to this 45 down here, and he moves on to this 21-3 vibration, and that is a Saturn vibration. It's the world vibration. So he goes from temperance to the world. Now, his wisdom square is a 52 over 7, another 7 vibration. Understanding, this is the Queen of Swords. We have another square in Bina. So all of his whole life, his challenge is in Bina. Okay, wherever you see squares, we have challenges. Where you see triangles, we have this is more of a flowing energy. Okay, and right now he's in a 45 over 9 vibration. 45 over 9 is found in Gebura. Gebura is Sephiroth of instant karma. And the 9 is about unconditional love. It's about forgiveness. But when you're in Gebura, and he's in Gebura now as a temporary vibration from, let's see, what's the age? Where do I have that? From age 33 to age 42. So he's in Gebura for another year. We are dealing with the energy of finding your voice and speaking, and he needs to do it with love, and he needs to do it without falling into bitterness. But 9s are very, very challenging, and 9s also a number of the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. So he has to be careful while he's in this vibration. And of course, we're dealing with Mars here. He does have Mars in Leo in his 7th house. So he is going to have pushback from other people. He's definitely going to have pushback with Mars in the 7th house. That usually happens. The 7th house is the energy of, it is the house of open enemies, but it's also the house of partnerships. So he has a lot of energy for partnership, but he also can, bring out, like, the enemies can come out. Okay, the enemies can come out, something he has to be aware of. Okay, and one other thing I want to talk about is the numbers that he was having when he won the presidency. As I said, when he won the presidency, he was in a 6 vibration. I'm sorry about that again. He was in a 6 vibration, of 42 over 6 vibration, actually. And the 42 over 6 is actually a very optimistic number, sometimes a little too optimistic. It's the Two of Cups. And so there's this sort of idea of love, but brought to a higher level. So he came in with a lot of optimism. And when he won, he was actually in a 12-3 period. The 12-3 is the Hanged Man. It's the planet associated with the planet Neptune. Neptune is always seems very active in these situations. And now he's in a 44 over 8 vibration, starting on his birthday in 2018, which was his last birthday. So this is pretty much, because he's born at the end of the year, this is pretty much his vibration for 2019 because of the time he was born. But 8 is about as you sow, so shall you reap. So some stuff is coming back to him. It's a master number vibration. It's a double number, the 44. It's about responsibility, but it's about crisis and crisis. 4 and 4 is crisis. 4 is crisis. So we got crisis, responsibility, karma. So he's going to have a lot of crisis. This is the ability to say no. He has to learn how to say no and who to say no to in this vibration. It is a Jupiter vibration, and so Jupiter is very important. And in his chart, he has Jupiter in the 5th house. In Cancer. And so Jupiter in Cancer is about security and nurturing and such. And because it's the 5th house and you're dealing with the Leo energy, because Leo energy is the 5th house energy, it really has to sort of be heart-centered and sincere. He is actually right now at this time until April 21st. What's today? Yeah, so we still have time. He's actually in a 16-7 vibration, which is the Tower vibration. So this can be a very challenging time, that 16-7. But what the 7 does, what the 16-7, the Tower does, is there is this need to sort of connect to who you are on a very core level. And then he moves into, after April 21st, he moves into a sub-period of 14-5, which is the same line that he's on, that 9-year line. And so there's temperance. So there's going to be upsetment. Then there has to be temperance and balance. And then in August 21st until his birthday at the end of 2019, he's in a 17-8, which is his expression. So finding that guiding star. And then in 2019, he moves into a 45-9 vibration. And that